Oh yeah, it's your boy Livewire. It's been a minute since I did one of these videos, man. I usually don't get that much time to do a lot of this shit. It's just today had a day off. Daughter's hanging with the fam, so I ain't gotta do teacher daddy right now. So I figured I'd hang out with y'all and just talk about something that's interesting that Xbox University posted. Very, very interesting. These fanboys all I can say is wow. So, Xbox University posted, I bet the Rugrats didn't have an imagination this advanced and powerful. Remind this guy, tells others they are stupid. Now, look at this. I don't what's this guy's name? Uh Solar Ash. Hashtag Solar Ash. I don't know. Um He says Gran Turismo outsold Forza franchise on one platform with less games. Now, Forza franchise is $1 billion franchise, and I'm not sure what the equivalence in money is for the Forza versus Gran Turismo. They're both $1 billion franchises. Forza made a lot of is it's steamrolling downhill right now, whereas Gran Turismo was hot early and kind of fizzled. Not saying that it don't make money. I'm sure it still sells on PlayStation because, to be honest, it's their only legitimate racer. Remember, Xbox has two. Even though they have Forza Horizon and Forza. Gran Turismo just has Gran Turismo. I mean, yes, they did a Gran Turismo Sport, but it was only one game. So yeah, there's that. But that's a wash. I mean, it's they're both elite racing game franchises. Obviously, they're not sitting at the same tier of perfection right now. Forza's basically head and shoulders over Gran Turismo. Which is, to be honest, I don't really understand why, because Gran Turismo has so much more time put into it that you would think that the overall game would be better, but it's not. And that, for me, that's the perplexing part about it. Like, with all the time that Gran Turismo gets, remember, Forza only gets half the time. So if a Gran Turismo game is made in like 7 years, Forza does it in 4 or 3, and yet their games are better than the Gran Turismo games. But I'll get onto that in a little bit later. Killzone killed Halo's momentum for years. All I gotta say is, the fuck is this guy talking about? Then he goes on to say, when compared, Halo doesn't look as good as Killzone. What? All right. The only thing that he could say, hey, Killzone does better than Halo is graphical settings per se, right? Just graphics, not art design, graphics. Now, color palette, because Killzone can tend to be very grayish, just graphics, because that's the only thing that Killzone has going for it. Killzone's story is blase. Killzone's art design is blase. I couldn't even tell you who the main protagonist is because he looks like all the other motherfuckers in the game. Like, I don't even like the most people only like one or two kill zones in the whole series. And there's been like what, five of them? So I don't know what kind of shit this dude is smoking on this shit. Killzone and Halo are not Killzone couldn't stop Halo's momentum as much as a motherfucking tricycle could stop the momentum of a Mack truck driving down the street. Like, you're bugging. I don't know what the fuck this guy's talking about. Then he goes on to say, on Uncharted killed Gears 100%, just blew its back out. What? Gears and Uncharted have nothing in common. There's no platforming of any kind in Gears. It is a cover based shooter. That's what Gears is. Uncharted is an action adventure game. It has cover based shooting in it, but it is not a cover based shooter. It's not, that's not what Uncharted is. It's an action adventure game. Gears is all about its shooting mechanics, which is why the shooting in Gears is by far way better than the shooting in Uncharted. Because Uncharted's main focus isn't just shooting, it's an action adventure. That'd be like comparing fucking Tomb Raider to the fucking what's that other game? Not Dishonor. Shit. What's the name of that game that motherfuckers was playing? That Bam always playing this shit. Jesus Christ, I can't remember the name of that shit. That Ubisoft game. Ah, fuck, I can't remember. But or Ghost Recon or the other one, I can't remember the damn name. But like that's like comparing Tomb Raider to that shit. Like what the hell is this guy talking about? This dude is fucking bugging. It says Xbox will never be a threat to PlayStation. I mean, to PlayStation fans that are diehard PlayStation fans, sure, but they're not really doing the same thing. Like, they're not, bro. I don't understand why you can't just be okay with PlayStation just doing what they do. Now, I'm gonna explain this. You have two different philosophies for how games are made versus Xbox and PlayStation. PlayStation makes games from a movie perspective towards making it to a gaming perspective. What that means is they think of it, they're a movie studio first. Remember, they were always a movie studio first. So they build based on the same way they build their games is the same way they build out their stories as far as their movies. The only difference is, all right, you come from a movie element, you have your script, all your storyboards, your art styles, and then the very last thing they go into is their game mechanics. The game is secondary for PlayStation. Story, how it looks, then the gameplay. Xbox is the reverse. Same thing with Nintendo. They're the reverse. It's the gameplay first, then you build upon that. That's how it goes. Is that for every studio? No. Because if you watch the Todd Howard documentary, they also have their methods. They go from the music first. They go music, tone, they build the story based on the tone of how that music's going to be. It's almost like if they came from a music background, then they build it out that way, right? But when you come from gameplay first, that's your focus. That's why you get the games that the gameplay, last over time. Which is why a lot of the time PlayStation games go into the bargain bin quicker. Nobody's saying they're not great games. But when gameplay is secondary, the value of the game is lowered over time because graphics, they look great in the moment, but over time they depreciate. The gameplay what's maintained. That's why motherfucking could go and play the original Mario Brother today and still have fun with it. It's hard to play some of those original PlayStation games and enjoy that shit. As much as PlayStation guys cap for PlayStation, I bet you they would much rather play the original NES games over a lot of them original PlayStation games. Because the fucking gameplay isn't what, is what the main part of that game is. I mean, the game design is. And when it's always based off of the story, always based off of the graphics, man, that shit depreciates over time, man. Why you think you can play Halo 1, the original Halo, whether it's polished up or not, and it plays better than those PS2 games. Think about that. OG Halo. Actually, hold up. Then all right, we just got San Andreas in the GTA collection, right? They didn't get nothing different than what Halo 1 got for basically getting polished up, right? But yet Halo way exceeds in performance and how that game plays than those Grand Theft Auto games. And those games were great during their times. They were considered creme de la creme. But you just taking a skin and putting it on top of that shit to make it prettier, somehow over time did not last as much as a Halo game doing the same thing. Why? Because the gameplay was the main thing that drove that game. Like I for the like you always hear these PlayStation guys talk. All they talk about graphics. Bro, that's well and good. Graphics are important, but if the gameplay is mediocre, that's why you got the order, and that's why you have Days Gone and shit like that. The graphics look good, but the gameplay is mediocre. It is. It is what it is. But to them it's like talking to a brick wall because they can't get past their feelings, man. It's like if a game's not depressing, they don't find any value in it. Be like, if I don't have to take a Xanax after playing this game, was it a good game? What do you mean it's fun? Fun? What is fun? Games aren't supposed to be fun. They're supposed to be introspective and depressing, and I should need to cry and then call my mother or my father and talk to them about like past childhood traumas. Like, what's this? Yeah, these motherfuckers, man. Hey, teach their own, I guess. But nah, this shit was funny, bro. Now let's see what. Well, I wrote some shit down here, but let's look at other people's comments. Um, I guess I could read mine first. It says, he is tripping. Xbox just launched Forza, Halo, next to COD and Battlefield, and those games ain't just surviving, they are dominating. So I don't know what this dude is smoking. Well, it's just been spoken, but I ran out of text space. But to mention Killzone in the same breath as Halo, you know he is bugging, which is very true. Dude is fucking off his rocker. He must be smoking the craziest synthetic weed ever. Uh, then you got Sir No Name. It says if Xbox wasn't wasn't a threat, they wouldn't be talking about it. There is obviously some deep rooted hatred in these man childs for whatever reason. Nah, it's big facts, man. Bro, you don't hate on something that you don't care about. You don't find threatening to you. I mean, bro, they complain about Xbox daily. Like they might as well just change their PlayStation podcast to "We shit on Xbox." You know what I mean? Like that. Like there's no love for PlayStation. They don't even talk about PlayStation no more. Like they basically talk about the same shit about PlayStation every single day. If it's anything good, right? Oh, I can't wait for Spider-Man. Oh, I can't wait for Wolverine. I wonder what that game is. I can't wait for God of War or Horizon Zero Dawn. Um, the funny thing is they never say I can't wait for Gran Turismo. Which is funny because the only people that seem to bring up Gran Turismo on a regular are people that are actually car heads. Outside of that, the average PlayStation guy doesn't even give a fuck about Gran Turismo. They don't. They always tell you, oh, that, especially when it comes to Forza, oh, Forza is, they say it's a great game, but I don't like car games, right? But then they're so quick to tell you, well, but Gran Turismo sold so much and blah, blah, blah. Like, why the fuck do you care how much Gran Turismo sold if you don't like car games? That'd be like an Xbox dude, PlayStation guy talking about, oh, well, PlayStation games are, outselling all Xbox games. And Xbox dude be like, but they don't outsell Minecraft. But like, what the fuck? Like, but you don't play Minecraft. Yeah, but PlayStation don't outsell. Like, shut that shit up, man. Like, Stab it. Stab it. What's the next one? It's a Soko. Killzone, question mark. He's laughing at his ass. There has never been a Killzone game that's even above average. God damn, homie, you ain't have to slap that motherfucker like that. Never mind anywhere near Halo's level. I'm saying the same. Like, yo, this dude is on some other shit. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's the super duper crack. What's the next one? Henry Mason. He says, kill Halo's momentum for years, question mark. Then tell me how the fuck Sony abandoned this. That's what I'm saying, yo. like, like my man crazy. He sitting there like, yo, it killed Halo, but Halo is about to drop a nuclear bomb and Killzone is fucking out. It's nowhere to be found, bro. Like nobody gives a shit about no Killzone. Like they can mention, yo, the next kills. What's the next one coming up? 5, 6, whatever. Killzone 5 is coming out. People be like, you just hear nothing but crickets. Like, uh, okay. So you got something else coming out? Like nobody gives a fuck about no Killzone. Uh, we got Jason on here. He says, gaming is about having fun. People seem to forget that and focus on console stats, especially PlayStation fanboys. Bro, you ain't doing nothing but speaking the truth, bro. Uh Ramik, it said, I'm sorry, PlayStation fans need a game to play bad. Bro, do they not? Yo, this is the crazy part. They just had Kenna, right? What was that? September 27th? I bought that game for the PC. Beat that shit in maybe 2 weeks. Because I mean, I probably could have beat it faster if I wasn't playing it actually Xbox and other games. And I jump back and forth. I'll be on my PC sometimes, like not as often as like at the very, very end of the gen last with the Xbox One, I started playing more on my PC. For certain because Gears Tactics was there. We didn't have it on Xbox at the time, which is why I haven't beaten the console version because I already beat it on PC. Flight Sim, I had played that the year prior, which is why I don't play it as much now on my console. And so I was playing a lot more on PC. But now that a lot of these games are more comparable with what my PC does, I don't feel the need to be on the PC as much, except for when I do get a lot of these PlayStation games. Only reason why I got Kenna is because there was no actual release date for the Xbox version. So I was like, fuck it, I might as well, play it now, check it out. And it was kind of in between. When is Kenna? It came out after I had just finished Psychonauts. So I had some free time in between. I think I was playing that in like 2K or something like that when I was still playing 2K. And, but, they need a game, bro. Because that was like months ago. And this is the thing that I think a lot of these PlayStation dudes forget. Is like, even when Xbox don't have first party games coming out, we either always have indies or we just getting hella fucking Game Pass games, dog. Like, yo, the life is different over here. Like, you sit there and think like the only time we eating is when we have a steak. Nah, bro, we have other shit to eat too. I mean, don't get me wrong, steak is great, but sometimes I like smothered chicken. You know what I mean? Sometimes I like shrimp and pasta. Like we got other shit over there to eat, bro. Like we eating good. We eating good. Like y'all motherfuckers over there eating croutons right now. You're not even eating the salad. You eating just fucking croutons. Shit is dry as fuck over there right now. They gonna at least give you some salad dressing for them croutons, but now somebody said fuck that. They gave you a mean crouton. What was that game that they giving them right now? Godfall. They gave you a crouton, and they couldn't even give you the crouton with the salad dressing. They just gave you multiplayer. I didn't even know that bitch had multiplayer. That's the crazy part. But yeah, man, shit, it's dry as fuck over there right now. I don't know. Pray for Jesus to send y'all something for Christmas. I don't know. What's the next one? The Xbox Post. Living rent free. No, bro, you know it. All you got to do, like, man, bro, these dudes wake up. It's like they live in a nightmare right now. They wake up in cold sweats, talk about fucking Xbox, fucking Xbox. This shit funny as hell, bro. Oh man, let me see who else got a statement up here. Yeah, Sensitsu Saga says that guy snorts cocaine 100%, bro. Yo, you know it, bro. And the last one is it's Ed Kenny. He says he does lines of coke off his mom's ass, so he can't afford can't afford a hooked. What is that? I thought PS5. Wait, what? Those PS5 games are $70, you know. Wait, hey man. That's the other thing. Um, they're paying $70 whether the game is good or shit, right? They're forced to pay that. You know what I mean? Like, think about it. Like, even when they were trying to shit on Xbox games, when you talk about the crackdowns, the what was the other game? Recore, State of Decay. You know what I mean? They would shit on these games, right? They said they're mediocre, right? All right, fair enough. You want to say they're mediocre, fine. Mediocre just means okay, okay, right? But one, the game is also available on Game Pass. Okay. Two, the game was not a full price game. I think Crackdown was. The Crackdown was State of Decay was 50 and Recore was 40, 30 or 40, one of those two. So you're not paying full time. They not raping you on the cost of a game. Like imagine like to be honest, if Returnal was on Xbox, that bitch wouldn't have been no $70 game, dog. Well, one Xbox don't do $70 games right now. It wouldn't have been a $60 game. What they would have charged you was probably between $30 and $40. I don't feel that they would have charged you even 50 for it because if you look at the game, bro, it's not a it's not a full price game, bro. It's not. Like you can look at that shit. It's not a full price game, bro. You could beat that shit in 3 hours. Yes, you got to speed run it and blah 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 blah. All right, fair enough. But let's say on average, what I think most people beat it in 8. I think it was 8 hours. So still, that's 8 hours, bro. Like that's crazy. But hey, man, you know, should be shit is I don't know, man. When life for the PlayStation fanboy has drastically changed in a matter of months, and for a lot of these guys, it's just a rude awakening. They were so used to being accustomed to shitting on Xbox, not having anybody challenge them on the bullshit that they say. They would say outlandish shit all the time. And, you know, and a lot of times it wouldn't be that, you know, other people in media wouldn't they would defend what they're saying. It's just they would ignore it. They just wouldn't say anything about it. And shit just changed. Like people got Xbox outlook has changed. This whole perspective has changed to the public, and in return, people aren't taking the shit talk from people that lie about Xbox and give false narratives anymore. Which is, to be honest, for a guy that's been with Xbox since the beginning, uh, you know, I never really felt either way. I was just like, oh, I guess shit is changing. Like that's how I looked at it. I didn't make a big deal out of it. I just be like, you know, I see all this shit has ebbs and flows, man. I remember when the OG Xbox came out, they didn't, they were met with doubt, disbelief. Not so much hate, but doubt and disbelief. Same thing with the beginning of the 360, doubt and disbelief, because the very beginning of the 360, everybody, you might not remember, this shit came off the PS2. That was the hottest shit ever. like Sony had to basically slip, trip, hit their head on the side of the concrete, and just conked out for like the first 3, 4 years. That's why 360 got a foothold on the industry. It wasn't because, you know, everybody was just loving 360. It's because PlayStation 3 just shit the bed so hard. Like people were just shocked. They just didn't understand what was going on. They couldn't believe it, and they had no choice to go with Xbox. The options there were just so far, above and beyond that they just were like, well, fuck it. I mean, we'll jump back on PS3 when they get shit going. And then the same happened with Xbox. Slightly different. It wasn't, the power narrative was there, but it wasn't as drastic as it was led on to be. But but the main thing is like that, with social media, you know, they kind of put Xbox was having trouble putting their foot in their mouth. Like they didn't just know how to maneuver things the way they've been able to do it in more recent years. So they were a lot of the stumblings that they had. They stumbled on their own, and the haters. You're always gonna have haters. So the haters just took it and blew that shit up, and then that shit became bigger than what it was. And yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. And then now I don't really feel that either company is doing particularly bad. It's just that PlayStation is in a dry spell now. That's the really only difference. But look, Xbox was in a dry spell earlier too. But the difference between each's dry spell is Xbox didn't allow its dry spell to mean that there was nothing happening for Xbox. They got Game Pass, and they had other news to come through and support them while they're in a dry spell. So even if their first party was dry, they should, bro. They went over to PlayStation, took their game, and put it on Game Pass for free for everybody on Xbox, bro. They boss moving out here. So even when PlayStation be like, yo, we got MLB The Show. What y'all got? MLB The Show for free. Like, what the fuck? Like, you pay your $70, I'll play it for free over here. Thank you very much. Like, they was bossing. So, shit is different, man. It's just different right now. But anyway, man, this is your boy Livewire, man. It's good out here having a nice little chat with y'all. But I'll holler at y'all later. See you out on Xbox Has the Games podcast. We renamed it. We used to be Xbox Has No Games for the longest time because that's the narrative PlayStation fanboys went with. But then we had to change it to Xbox Has the Games because, well, shit, they got all the games, dog. Like, what the fuck you want us to do? Like, it's hard to say Xbox ain't got no games when the PlayStation fanboys can't even say that shit no more. So, we figured, hey, man, it's time to reband it now. So, anyway, it's your boy Livewire, and I'll highlight you later. Peace.